So we've got a new report from DUPLO, that's a business payment platform on the African continent, revealing that Nigeria trails behind South Africa and Kenya in the development of key business-to-business payment processes across the continent, including the adoption of electronic bank transfers, speed of processing invoices, and payment automation. Chatting to me on this now is Yele Oyekola. He's the CEO and co-founder at DUPLO, the author of the new research report. Great having you here tonight.
Thank you very much.
And this is a shocker for me, because when you talk about fintech, all that in Africa, we are the poster boys. So what happened? Walk me through first, quickly, what's the B2B business landscape in Africa? What does it look like, that market?
Thank you very much for having me. So when you think of B2B payments on the continent, there are two components. So one is the flow of money between businesses, and then two is simplifying processes and modernizing processes. So currently on the continent, we've in a way solved for the flow of money. So now you can make payments to businesses automatically. It's digital, but there are still issues, significant issues in simplifying how businesses manage their processes. So right now, that's where we are on the continent. And of course, the different contexts across the different markets like Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, and South Africa, which is what the report surveyed in depth.
So, but what does it reveal about how money flows between businesses to start with?
So first of all, when you think of B2B payments, it's incredibly different from B2C payments. One, the payment volume is different. It's much larger. You have what we call payment terms. When it's a B2C transaction, I can pay directly. If it's a B2B, I can negotiate terms. Pay in 30 days, pay in 60 days. So one thing we've realized on the continent is that, places like Nigeria, we've seen adoption of electronic bank transfers. In South Africa, same as well. Kenya is mobile money, same thing with Ghana as well. And what that means is that, on the mobile money front, there's a lot of infrastructural improvement that's been done with mobile money in these two places. And in Nigeria and South Africa, it's still very early days for mobile money, but the banks are doing an amazing job at simplifying payments between businesses.
Interesting, I'm looking at some of the data when it comes to the speed of processing invoices. Yeah. South Africa has a very steering lead over Nigeria. What does that involve really in terms of processing invoices between businesses?
It makes a lot of sense. The South African market is a bit more advanced than most other places on the continent. So what happens is, what we saw in the report is that smaller businesses in South Africa tend to clear their invoices faster. And the reason for that could be, suppliers don't have the time to waste waiting for invoices to get cleared. South Africa is a bit more digitized. So when you get an invoice, you can pay automatically or digitally. And Nigeria, it could also be the business environment. There could be more trust between suppliers and buyers here in Nigeria. So if I send an invoice, I can wait 30 days or 60 days to get paid. And that could be different in South Africa as well. So yes, invoices across the entire continent, we've seen that they're getting paid faster now. And that was the thing we saw across, the entire four countries.
Is that part of the ease of doing business?
Yeah. And then,
in the way of speaking.
Sorry?
Yes, I said in the way of speaking.
In the way of speaking, yeah.
Yes.
But I think the main thing is that, buyers want to basically get more trust with their suppliers. And the smaller businesses need to buy trust, and paying faster helps do that as well. So if you look at the report in depth, you'll see that the smaller businesses clear payment faster than the bigger businesses, because the bigger businesses have economies of scale where they can delay payments to their suppliers and vendors.
Interesting, if you look at between regions, countries, and the business sectors, in terms of business sectors, where do you see the faster processes in terms of the entire business-to-business market?
Yeah. Financial services, of course.
The banks.
The banks, yeah.
Yes.
Investment firms.
Yes.
But we're seeing that consumer goods is becoming a big deal as well. So, you're a business in Nigeria, you have to pay for your raw materials in, say, Kenya or Ghana. That is picking up as well. Construction. And that is, of course, happening across borders and within borders as well. So the two key, and of course, logistics. But yeah, financial services will always be the fastest. And hopefully that would spread to the other industries as well.
So what do you see as far as Nigeria is concerned, what do you consider as the biggest tailwind or headwind for Nigeria in terms of pulling us back, in terms of making as much progress as South Africa, for example?
Oof, a lot. Yeah,
oh, okay.
A lot. But I think, the beauty of, about Nigeria is that the central bank actually has good intentions. They're creating policies to enable, digital payments happen faster. NIP, enables instant transfers between businesses and individuals as well. So I think enabling that, that environment for innovation is incredibly important. But I think secondly as well is that there has to be a lot of education and awareness on the business side. So right now, like I said, we've kind of solved for the movement of money between businesses from a local perspective, but it's still very difficult for businesses to manage their invoices from suppliers, manage their workflow, reconciliation as well. And I think that's where the opportunity is for businesses like DUPLO and the banks as well. And of course, we expect better collaboration between the banks, the fintechs, and of course the regulators as well.
Interesting. I'm sure there's a future on the horizon here in terms of business to business, and what do you envisage to be the impact on finance professionals, businesses, and others within the ecosystem? What do you see coming?
When you think of a finance professional role in a business, one is to cut cost or reduce cost, and then secondly is of course optimize profit margins. When you're able to automate B2B payments, you're able to reduce the cost you spend on your accounting team and processes, saving money as well, which of course leads to increased margins. Secondly is that you're able to save more time, and then you just see more productivity across your entire business as well. So it's incredibly important for finance teams to take this more seriously. And there will be a new wave happening over the next few years with automation between businesses and within businesses as well. And we at DUPLO, our goal is to educate and create awareness about this space for finance teams, and that's why we're launching this report as well.
Interesting. When I come back to the Nigerian home market, we're the largest, most populous country on the African continent. Consumer space is also very huge here, so we expect to lead a number of front, but it looks like we have pulled back. Are there things that you think the government should look into? Of course, you've given the central bank a bit of a credit. What other areas of our fiscal space in terms of government agencies, ministries, departments, and processes that you think need to help the business-to-business market space?
Yeah, I think, if you look at the report, one thing that we saw as most important was security for B2B payments. And it makes a lot of sense, you are making transactions in the millions. One payment going wrong could mess up your entire business. So I think, if you can see, more stringent policies around enabling the security of funds between businesses, that would be very helpful as well. But, like I said, the government and the central bank are doing their best. And we hope that over the next couple of years that would improve as well. And then for businesses like DUPLO, we can work with the central bank and the government to we move fast. We are basically the heirs of the market. We are working with these different businesses. So yes, I think that's the main thing. Enabling security of funds between businesses would be critical going forward.
Interesting. I'm sure you're going to keep us in the loop, whatever you guys are up to next.
Of course.
But it's a good report we all can use. It keeps us on our toes on this side of the market and help us see what our neighbors are doing over in South Africa, Kenya, and elsewhere, including Ghana. Thank you so much. Have a great evening.
Of course, thank you.
Good having you on the show. That's Yele Oyekola, the CEO and co-founder at DUPLO.